Don't think it's too bad. Maybe my chair isn't as good as I thought it was, which sucks. So then maybe I need to get another one. It was kind of cheap for the price I got it for. But, who knows? Hang on, let me just test the audio and listen to it. Alright. Maybe later today I'll also like look at just in general the filters I have on OBS, because I think I did like look at it, because sometimes it would cut out my laughing, and I think I fixed it. At least I hope I did. I'll definitely check one of the parts of this stream. I also wanted to clip a part of the last stream during the melee role quest, because that was because when I reacted to seeing so this will be the spoilers for all those quests, by the way, because this is the last role quest I have. Hello, my name is Bubby Park. We have one more role quest to do, and it is the ranged role quest. As a bard, I will do it as. But look at these dragon wings on this fucking thing. They're protectors. They're like, it's like a, you know those reticles on guns? It's like it's a bow and arrow reticle. But yeah, no, this is spoilers for the other ones. But in the melee role quest, you fucking meet up with the company heroes, and I just fucking lost it. I definitely should clip that part. What is this? Oh, it's Radiant Finale. Do I have that there? I guess I put it there. I don't remember. I didn't really look at the other stuff. Ladin's Bite. I think it's an upgraded version of that other one. The other ability. That one is Apex Arrow. Yeah, alright, I kind of get it. I haven't played Bard in forever, so we're gonna all just see how bad that gameplay is gonna be when I fight the boss in like a couple hours. But yeah. So yeah, we have one last to go. Let's just start it up, huh? Yeah, alright. Seeds of distrust. Of disquiet. Already off to a good start. And reading. The Doma delegate is seeking the able-bodied adventurers on behalf of Lord Hien. Last one is Doma, huh? Do my eyes deceive me? Lady Joanna! Oh, thank the Kami! Lord Hien has requested assistance in the resolution of the most urgent matter, the hunt for the fell beast believed to be a blasphemy. Though we have made great strides in ensuring the safety of our people, we fear even our finest shinobi will be no match for this enemy, for it commands the skies of Doma. Just get the eagles! But as your talent for striking down foes at a distance is beyond compare, I can think of no one better to aid us in the overcoming this adversary. It would be my pleasure. As you all say. Oh, Kami be praised! I shall inform Lady Yaguri, and she may receive you at the Doman Enclave. Safe travels, Lady Joanna. Alright, to the Doman Enclave. I'm sad that Yuri, a character from Realm Reborn, didn't get much in the Endwalker main story quest line. Because sadly, you know, not a lot of stuff happened here in Doma in terms of that. But she was one of my favorite characters. She is still one of my favorite characters, but I just wish she, you know, did more during that. It's somewhere here, right? It's the Doman Enclave. Oh wait, no, it's the Doman Enclave. What am I talking about? The Doman Enclave is different from this area. It is right here. I literally have it less price in terms of teleportation, because I over here is to get to Bosia, which I haven't done in a while. I should do that. Finish that up. I don't think I'll do that before my sub runs out. Sometime in the future. It's good to see you, Joanna. When we received word that you of all people had answered our call, I could scarcely believe it. Yet here you are. You know, Always here to help you, girl. You've always helped me. Lord Hien will be pleased for this reunion. If you would wait here a moment. Hien's a very interesting character in that I don't know how I feel about the man who was like, oh, you know, my people are in danger. I'm just gonna go ahead and live in the woods for a bit, or on the plains for a bit. They'll figure it out. He's odd. But I like him enough. Not one of my favorite characters, but yeah. Well, that the kami should guide your steps to our door once more, and with such fortuitous timing. You know, it's fine. I remember this outfit has like 2 boob windows. An under boob window and a fucking top boob window. What the fuck? Pray, forgive me for not affording you a hero's welcome, but time is on our side. Not long after receiving word of men transforming into hideous beasts in Dabner, a similar creature was born of a woman in Asadi. After attacking another villager, it took to the skies and fled, though to where we know not. An all too cruel twist of fate, for the one slain was among the prisoners returned to us in that deplorable exchange with Asahi and the Empire. Just when they had last begun to piece their life back together. This blasphemy must be stopped. Alas, our foe is wont to keep to the skies, well beyond the reach of our samurai and shinobi. That's what you called me. I got bows. Thus did we seek the aid of those proficient in ranged combat, able to pluck the beast from the heavens. I hope that the boss is just like gets rid of the platform and everyone just stands there and is like, we can't get near it. And then I just start shooting at him. At her, actually. Just start shooting the arrows. Of course, martial prowess alone will not solve our problems. Others have turned into weaker but no less gruesome abominations, as was the case in Davner, and their numbers increased by the day. Although I think Dancer has like a melee, a couple melee abilities, I'm not sure. I mean, those are chakrams on your hands. I would assume you would swing them, but not sure. From what I understand, this phenomenon is not unlike a sickness which spreads by feeding on fear and anxiety. Emotions of late can be found in abundance. Slaying the beast means nothing but the people's hearts cannot be put at ease. Lord Hien! You good, buddy? What do you have to say? Oh no, the music is in danger mode. You have to help. The villagers, they... Oh no, they're turning into monsters, haven't they? So, sir, please calm yourself. Tell us what happened. Another is turned into an Amile, my lord. For a blessing. No one was harmed when the beast flew into a rage, but the people are in panic. I fear what may happen next. Oh yeah, those transformations, oh no. It would seem we have even less time than I thought. Worry not, we will see to the beast. As of yet, there is no cure for this affliction, but we will save the lives we can. I promise you. I trust you are ready to join the fray. I was born ready. It was last seen near the glittering basin. Come, I will show you. Like when I was born, my mama gave me a bow and arrow and said, here. I was like, I want to punch things. It's like, okay, I guess. And then I did other things instead. Oh, you teleported me. Wow. The elusive teleport quest. Without a cure, we've no choice but to cut them down before they cause them more harm. Still no sign of the beast, or any other for that matter. The beast was right here! I swear it! I thank you for leading us here, but it is not safe. Please return to your village. We should split up if we had any chance of finding it. Joanna, would you see to the west? I will search to the north. Yugiri, I leave the east to you. If you find it, remember, these blasphemies are no longer people. They will not hesitate to strike you down, so you mustn't either. Oh, I learned that lesson, alright. Now, let us not waste any more time. I learned that harsh lesson. It was pretty wild. That 85, those 85 quests were fucking wild. Blasphemy! Final Days Abomination, hello! Oh, Frightened Youth. Don't worry, Frightened Youth. I will, begin my song first, I guess. I don't really do that usually, but sure, fuck it. Oh no, I need a target. I need a willing participant. Batter. Batter up. Why did I do that again? Got him. Might as well do this. Even though I usually don't need to do it. Here you go, youth. Listen to my song. It's nice, isn't it? I mean, maybe your family members are dead, but still. That could have been your family member also. Are you alright? We heard shouting and came as fast as we could. Was I shouting? It would appear Joanna arrived not a moment too soon. Why? Was that like a parrot? Why? No. Why did you kill my brother? It's, regrettable, kid. That they cannot be turned back. Your brother. Young man, that creature was not your kin. Not anymore. Had she not laid it to rest, it would have killed you, and countless others. But if your heart cries out for one to blame, let it be me. The beast was slain at my behest, for it was the only way. This kid is angry. No! You're wrong! You killed him! Murdered him! I hate you! Are you sure we should leave that kid alone? What if they get depressed and then turn into another one? Oh boy. The hell is with that kid? Wow, weird. Hello, person. Issei, what are you doing here? Oh yeah, Issei, I remember you. Searching for the Tombo, though clearly you found him first. The monster was his older brother. Oh, searching for Tombo, that was his name. As you may have guessed, and Tombo gave chase the moment he ran off. I beg you forgive him for his outburst. You know, kids, we kids. His brother was all he had left. Their father was conscripted by the Empire and was, regrettably, not among those returned to us in the recent exchange for prisoners. I hope they might one day be reunited was their only comfort when the Viceroy still ruled. I can only imagine how they felt when she walked into Yasari, a shadow of her former self. Yes, that was, all insane. Tsuyu may have had no memories of the monster she was, but her victims still see her in their dreams. Nevertheless, like many, the brothers prayed your mercy would see their family restored. But when they learned of her death and of their father's absence, deprived of hope and of hate all at once, they had nothing. My apologies for my rambling. No, I mean, it happens. No. It was a rather enlightening tale. I spared the woman who brought him pain, and took the brother who brought him comfort. I would hate me too. I swear I will set things right for Tombo. For all the people of Doma. Please return home, Issei, and be safe. Well, Doman politics, huh? It's a bit of issues. Let's return to the Doman Enclave. This ordeal has given me much to consider. It's a good thing I put this as a favorite spot. Where did I teleport to? How far am I? A little far. What is a boss fight over there? Yeah, okay. Do 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 do. I hear Jesse Cox sings that song. The lyrics of Little Spermy. I don't know why. I don't know why he sings it that way, but that's what he puts as the lyrics. It worries me immensely. I do not envy Lord Ian the burden now trust upon him, but he shall not have to bear it alone. I owe you a great debt for your timely assistance, and an apology for I have made you an executioner of young Tombo's eyes. Would that I had been the one to witness cut down the beast his brother had become. But we haven't time to dwell on regrets and what should have been. No, we need to take action, and after hearing of Tombo and his brother, I believe I know what must be done. A great many of our brothers and sisters were returned to us in the prisoner exchange, but even so there are those who yet remain lost to us. Meanwhile, Yotsuyu, who was directly responsible for much of the people's suffering, was never held to account for her crimes. In death, she claimed vengeance for her suffering at the hands of her brother, but it came at the expense of justice for her countless victims. The people of Doma have every right to resent me for failing them, and their grief. What of those who cannot bring themselves to do even that? Who are left alone with their anger and their pain? It may well give to despair, and then... Yeah, it's not great. They would share the same fate as Tombo's brother, yes. Which is why we must needs consider who else might share in this anguish, ere we find ourselves beset with more beasts. I will begin to making rounds of the villages, and inquire after those whom their neighbors believe are more distressed of late. Very good. And I and other shinobi shall continue our search for the blasphemy which set these events in motion. And you, my friend, we will need of your talents again ere long. Rest assured, we will keep you apprised of our findings. Oh, Wax drew me right there. Oh, goodness. Hello, Yugiri. Ah, Joanna, we have yet to ascertain the whereabouts of the blasphemy from Masari, but for a blessing we have received no reports of others that turned. Lord Hien, for his part, has made a concerted effort to go about the villages and converse with his subjects directly. I suspect his constant presence has served to allay the people's fears. As one might expect, he has ever been dedicated and diligent, but I fear he has been away over long. I thought to go and visit and what should have been his last destination, Nisari. Might I ask you to accompany me? No problem, gal. Thank you. I am sure there is no cause for concern, but nevertheless I should be glad to find him quickly. Whoa. Where is Asari? Over here. Oh wow, all the way over there, huh? We could go to Onokoro or Yangsha, if I pronounced that even remotely correctly. That's the Azim Step. And over there is the Mercantile Docks. I believe that's where that is. I think. I don't... Nah, let's just go to Onokoro. As much as I love little buddy. Actually, let's turn on the area music for those areas that are pretty nice. Oh, it's cloudy. Well, whatever. I was wondering, how long is the town theme gonna last? I don't know why, but it took me till Endwalker to realize that there were town themes. Maybe I just never paid attention to it. I just assumed they all had zone themes, but they're actual town themes for every expansion. The only one that does not have town teams actually is over in, well, Ultimate Duel. All of us, the entire area just continues playing that one team. Okay, what is this thing? Wait, is this a town team or wait? But the other team was different. Is it nighttime? No, it's not nighttime. No, what the fuck is? You know what? Whatever. I don't care. It's too much description. Too much distinctions. There's an anxious boy over there. I don't know why they're anxious. Thank goodness we found him. But why has he remained here so long? I wonder. Are you okay, Ian? Joanna, Yugiri. My apologies I gave you cause for concern. Assessing the state of affairs here in Asari has proven difficult. No problem. You always run away and disappear for long periods of time. I kind of expect it from you at this point. To put it simply, the people, one and all, refuse to speak with me. They simply bow their heads and turn away at my approach. Knowing the blasphemy originated here, I cannot help but wonder if that has aught to do with their silence. Perhaps you could attempt to engage with the people in my stead. Surely, they have no cause to deny the two of you. I should hope not. Nevertheless, I will don a disguise, lest I draw undue attention. Come, Joanna, let us see what we can discover. Thank you, both of you. Are you gonna wear that mask you wore? That'd be pretty awesome. I wonder if we still have the model. I wonder if I can find her. She's somewhere here. There's a bunch of people here. I don't see you, Gary. Damn, she's just disguised. Just fucking invisible. Hello, burly villager. I owe a great debt to Lord Hien. If not for him, I would still be fighting under the Imperial standard. But the village suffered dearly under the occupation. What's more, our lord failed to punish the viceroy for her crimes, and failed to reunite many with their loved ones. I understand why some would think poorly of him, even if I did not. Yeah. Listen, as cool as Yugiri was, even though I wasn't a fan of the whole memory loss thing, it was still a sad ending to her story. And, you know, I get it. I get her, but I also get why people are mad. It's like, yo, you should probably have punished her. You just let her go and then get herself killed. I mean, she died, though. She's now gone. A blasphemy. You are mistaken, my friend. Our village was visited by not a monster, but the kami, Izanami. Oh, man, you named it Izanami? That's pretty sick. Well, Lord Hien is cold and callous. She offers us boundless compassion and love. I'm sure that thing was gonna kill you. Are you insane? Don't make another cult out of the blasphemy, please. I've had enough cult blasphemies for one role quest. That's right. The blasphemy was born of a young woman here in Isari. Tragic, really. Every day she prayed for the safe return of her husband, but it was not to be. If I am to be honest, I fear the loss drove the poor stepmother mad. Gisei has ever been a devout believer in the kami and their blessings, but she somehow convinced herself that Minato has become one. The delusions of a grieving parent, obviously, but an alarming number of people have come to share in her belief. Heresy is what it is. Right, okay. Mouth noise. Actually, I'm looking at the mic volume. It's pretty high, but I think it's fine as it is. I'm just like looking if I do mouth noises, can it be picked up in the mic? Like, it's alright. There's enough ASMR mouth noises as it can. Oh, I was hoping you'd wear your mask. That's a cute outfit, though. The situation here in Asari is complicated, to say the least. Where'd you get that outfit? Can I get it too? Like, how much did it cost? I see. Little wonder they would refuse to confide in me. The belief held by some that this blasphemy is a kami, however, is quite concerning. Izanami presides over life and death. She gave birth to the nation of Doma, and usher souls of the departed unto the land of the dead. I trust you understand what it would mean to deny them a source of hope in such dark times, even one such as this. The villagers also claim Kisei can speak with the dead. In fact, she will be holding a gathering to demonstrate her powers ere long. The perfect opportunity to gauge the extent of their fanaticism. Not for me, of course. The presence would draw undue attention. Might I ask you both to attend in my stead? Okay. I can't believe another cult has popped up from this. Her followers will be gathering in the tavern. Come. Yeah, this is not good. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. I don't like this. Oh, spirits of Isari, I beseech you, lend me your voice and let your presence be known. Cross the veil and be among us once more. Among us! They just start chanting, among us, among us, among us. Oh god, this is just insensitive. This is terrible. What is she doing? Akitsu. Is she pretending to be dead people? Father? Oh wow, that's fucked up. Charlatan! How dare you do this? Still tending to nets, like I taught you. Yes, Father. Every day. Thanks to you, we never want for fish. Our beliefs are never empty. Our bellies, oh. I'm proud to be your son. I was always too embarrassed to tell you before, but... And I am proud to have been your father. May you be ever blessed by the sea's bounty. It hurts. Father, what's wrong? He is in terrible pain, my child. Those who have cheated death's design yet live. It has disrupted the natural order, and the spirits suffer for it. I'm sorry? What are you insinuating? What must we do to ease their pain? Fear not. Izanami shall put all to rights. She will claim the souls not long for this world and deliver them unto the hereafter. When her work is finished, your father's spirit and all others will find peace. Oh no, the boy! He's become radicalized. Can you find my father? Can you help me speak with him? Kisei, can you commune with my husband? What about my family? Help me, Kisei, please! Ah, God. This woman's made a cult. This one's worse than the last one. Because at least the last one was like, oh god, the queen is murdering us. Oh, that's bad. This one is like, oh, we're gonna die? That's great. Oh boy. Also, you got into your cool ninja outfit. She seemed convincing enough, but was that truly Akutsu's father that spoke to her? So is Kisei's ability all that she claims? Also, she seems convincing enough. What are you talking about? That's not convincing. She's just fucking pretending to be an asshole. She's just fucking parading around. A young man spoke with his dearly departed father, drew her. I find that rather hard to believe. Even so, those in attendance appeared quite convinced, my lord. And I suspect a great many of the villagers I've spoken with recently are as well. Everywhere I went, the people were in so much pain. There was nothing I could do or say to give them solace. Yet for all their anguish, there has not been a single report of villagers turning since the incident with Tonbo's brother. Which can only mean word of Kisei and her ability to speak with the deceased has spread. The belief we can commune with our loved ones in death is comfort far beyond my power to provide. Though I fail to see how the people would abide the kami claiming innocent lives to restore order. She comes! He's an army! Oh no! The blasphemy! Here! I don't know why we stopped for a second, like we were running and then just stopped and then kept running. What is going on? Lord Hien, the kami, she appeared as if from nowhere, and the next instant this poor man was... Ooh. So we were too late. Oh no, yeah, that's right, I did talk. Aw. I spoke with him before and sorry. You recognize him then? Curious that he and the blasphemy's first victim were former conscripts. Who could the fiend be after, I wonder? It does not become my lord to speak ill of the kami. Is it? Yeah, it's her. God damn it. Listen, lady. You don't need any of your shit. I understand you are come to investigate the rumors of a monster born in our village. A blasphemy, as you call it. But you are sorely mistaken. My stepdaughter, Minato, was chosen to serve as a vessel for Izanami. Oh, okay. Well, we now know who it is. I witnessed her ascension with my own eyes. Memories! Ah! Flashback. Now I think about it, this game has more flashbacks than Naruto. Okay, no, actually, never mind. It's still not possible. In the hundreds of hours of this game with all the echo flashbacks, Naruto probably still has more. At least in the anime. Minato, please! I can't. I won't. There's no logic in it. No justice. The Witch of Doma spared, given a second chance, and my husband, condemned to die as a conscript. I'll never know what became of him. Lord Hien can't give me even that. And when I look at the families he made whole at their happiness, I feel the hole in my heart, the gaping wound that will never heal, begin to bleed. No! Only at my beloved's side will I find peace. You mustn't lose faith, Minato. All will be well. Trust in Akami, in Izanami. I want to believe, but... Uh-oh. Oh, oh wow. It's one of the things in the CGI trailer. There she goes. Okay, well, that's not good. Izanami is come to bring peace to the souls of the departed, to restore balance between their world and ours. Surely you would not dare defy the will of the kami? This balance you speak of has claimed the lives of 2 innocents but recently returned to us. I will not accept that the kami would condone such cruelty. No crueler than the sight of Yotsuyu free and forgiven, while my husband and son fought Skarlamald's wars, now dead and forgotten in a foreign land. With all due respect, Lord Hien, it is not our duty to protect Doma and her people. How are we to place our faith in the man who places the enemy's safety and well-being above his own subjects? Hien, come up with an answer, please. A little faster now. Say something, anything. Only the kami are deserving our adoration, as they have always been. At least she's very polite to bow. I like this villain. She has an understandable motive. She sees her daughter turn into a god, but she thinks is a goddess, and is like, well, I'm depressed, but I'm not going to handle it correctly. I'm just going to believe that my daughter turned into a goddess. And then, you know, put on the charade. It's pretty cool. And that, I mean, it's also very sad. Are you alright? For a moment you seemed unwell. Yeah, I didn't catch the entire conversation. What happened while I was up? The villagers are no doubt low to ask it of me. But preparations must be made for burials and funeral rites. I can offer that much at least. You seemed distracted during our conversation with Kise. Is something the matter? Yeah, I got this power the echo. I think you remember about it. You know, I saw her version of that. The echo. And the blasphemy was indeed born of her stepdaughter. Were it witness to such horror, her mind must have struggled to comprehend what she saw. And as a woman of faith, perhaps her only surviving family becoming one of the divine was the only reality which she could come to terms. I believe I know now what must be done. But pray, her fervor does not drive her to oppose us. Come, let us return to the Enclave. I'll just teleport here. Yeah, I'm liking where this is going. Things keep going the way they do. Out of all the Endwalker role quests, probably the worst one will probably still be, sadly, is the tank one, which is the one I started as. I mean, then that just means that it only went higher from there. What do you suppose Lothian intends to do? From what you told me of your vision, the nature of Minato's despair as well as the focus of her ire is clear. It is plain she was a good-natured, kind-hearted woman grieving for the loss of her husband. The loss alone may not be enough to turn her, but my failure to hold Yotsuyu to account, together with the sight of other families reunited, compounded the turmoil in her broken heart. A path to despair paved by my good intentions, a truth that will weigh heavy on my conscience until my dying day. Minato was prepared to die in sadness rather than live in hatred. If she could see the beast she has become, she would implore us to stop her. Which is why we must find the others who will return to us in the prisoner exchange before they come to harm. Once their safety is assured, we may hunt down the blasphemy and bring a close to this tragedy. Alright. Now while you do that, I'm gonna drink some water right now. Hang on. I also left my bottle of water downstairs. But I have this cup of water. Oh, okay. I also have soda. So don't worry, I'm not being too healthy. Maybe later I'll go get the bottle that I left. Also, my dad wanted me to like help him move something, so maybe I'll end stream and then leave for like a couple hours, like after I finish roll quest, and then we'll move that thing. Not sure though. Home no longer. Joanna, if you are come to ask after the blasphemy, I have not to share. As of yet, our shinobi have seen no sign of the beast. The returnees, however, are all accounted for, and Lord Heian has seen them safely to Kane-Con. As such, he is presently assisting with the hunt. For a blessing, there have been no reports of other villagers turning, and yet, before the situation takes a turn for the worse, there is a matter I feel warrants in further investigation. Kisei. Though a villager of Isari, I suspect she may in fact hail from my home, Suino Osato. Oh man, we going back there? Knowing they would be loath to answer my inquiries, I entreated the Kojin to contact Suino Osato in my stead. To hear tell of it, Princess Kurane has made great strides in establishing stronger ties with the outside world. At mention of Kisei, however, their cordial warmth turned strangely cold. If we are to learn more, I fear we have little choice to go speak with the people of Suino Osato ourselves. A simple visit for you, I imagine, but my banishment complicates matters. You were banished? I forgot about that plot line. I guess if you, like, leave, then you're banished. Oh, kindred spirit. Joanna, in my backstory, is also banished from her woods in the village. From her village in the woods. Yeah, I said that. That said, it has been many years since I left home. Were I to disguise myself, I might go unnoticed in your company. If you're willing to take the risk. Hell yeah, let's do it. Kindred spirit, Yugiri. Thank you. Let us make for Onokoro then. You know that you're connected to your warrior light once you start just fucking making up backstories. I haven't made up that much complicated backstory, only that she grew up, was feisty, and got banished. Wait a minute, what the fuck? Oh, we have to meet her outside, that's why. Usually I do have a teleport there. Do you want to come in this car? I like how her disguise is just these clothes. These purple clothes. Are you gonna put on the mask? Finally? The Realm Reborn callback? Actually, yeah, I think these, at least the clothes are from a Realm Reborn. The garments I wore when we first met. Sufficient, I think, to conceal my identity. Yeah. How many years has it been since I last saw home? I met your parents. I remember that scene. It was very nice. I am a shinobi of Doma. Aye, but even as a child, I sought to ensure the safety and survival of Suino Osato. I was quite bold in those days, if not a touch reckless. And together with the other children, I often ventured beyond the borders of home. Just like me. She just like me for real. Or just like Joanna. We yearned for adventure. And so one day we sought to behold the wonders of Doma. Imagine our horror to discover the city of ruin and ash. Imperial soldiers marching through the streets. We fled at the sight. But in my haste I lost my way in the bamboo groves. It was there when I first met a young boy named Shun. A sweaty mess as he swung his wooden sword with reckless abandon. Training to fulfill his duty as a samurai, he said. Having seen the destruction of which the Empire was capable, I too felt the need to protect my home. I joined him in his exercises, and every day my resolve to protect those I love grew. Man, we're finally getting Yugiri backstory. Damn, it's been so long. Sadly, my elders refused to listen. They were content to remain hidden beneath the waves, and hopefully the Empire's notice. With a heavy heart, I left in search of the strength I believe we sorely needed, and I found it as a shinobi. But the people feared war and conflict would follow on my heels, should I return. I do not begrudge them for their decision, nor do I regret mine own. Part of me is overjoyed at the thought of seeing home again, openly defying the wishes of the Ruby Princess. However, would bode ill for my family. They have suffered enough from my transgressions. That is why, for their sake, I would remain naught but a faceless shinobi at your employ. Thank you. With that in mind, let us make for Suino Sato. I didn't think about it. I never really put two and two together, but you can also breathe underwater, can you? Huh. Makes sense. Now, we could teleport there, but why not we just... I don't know, how far is it, actually? Yeah! Oh, I wanted to swim through the waves. We only get a chance to do that. It's fine. All these years, yet naught appears to have changed since the day I left. But now is not the time to reminisce. We have work to do. Kisa's departure from Suino Sato, likely decades ago. Perhaps the village elders will know why she chose to leave. Yeah, I was hoping this would happen. Yugiri. Time for the last photo op. It's just... It's like we're holding hands. Alright, I'm so tall. Alright, da 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 da. Right here. It's self and NPCs only. Manual brightness. A little brighter. Right here. I know I can save the settings. I just keep forgetting to do that. Da, 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 da. Okay, here's emotes. Could do this. No, oh, there's a Domin bow, I think. Not the Imperial salute. That's not, no. That one's cute. I'm gonna actually take a couple photos of this. Let's do that. I wish you could have them G-post with you. Like, do certain thing. Did that actually save the right one? Okay, it did. Sometimes the notification comes late, so I'm worried that I just took a photo of this image here. I should do a couple of photos with her. Then we'll just do there. And yeah, where is bow? I think it's in special, isn't it? I know I have some Domin bow, a type of bow, don't I? There's flame dance. That's not really. I really should change my favorites. I have not done anything with those in like forever. They eat pizza. That's funny. Oh yeah, I could have sworn I had one, didn't I? This is just me looking for a certain emote. I could just look for bow. Yeah, let's just do that. There you go. Eastern bow. Let's do it like up to here. That's good enough, actually. Alright, that's enough photos. I keep saying I'm gonna make a spoiler Twitter just to post all the photos I've taken. I never do, did I? Is there anything I might help you with, madam? No, it's fine. Amiable Elder, hello. Kisei. The name sounds familiar, and yet... Apologies, my friend. My memory is not what it once was. Let us seek out another. Now that I think about it, can you make a very old warrior light? Like, I don't know how old... Oh, I keep forgetting. Yuri, let's go. Now, I wonder how old the warrior light you can make in the character creator. Because there are, like, old characters. But I don't think you can make that old of a warrior light. That's pretty ageist. My, it has been quite some time since I last heard that name. She was a priestess of the village, banished after drawing the eye of the former Ruby princess. What has become of her after all these years, I wonder? Please, is there anything else you can tell us? And the fish just came by. Unagi was quite close with her, if memory serves. Perhaps you should seek her out. I can't move. Mother, I had hoped to avoid my parents, but if there is no other way, Joanna, might I ask you take the lead? Come on, her parents have got to meet her. They just have to. I know you don't want to talk to them, but... Hello? Say, are you not the adventurer who aided Yuguri in Doma's liberation? Yes, I'm with this random person who's an aura, disguised. You would never know who it may be. 'Tis good to see you again. To what do we owe the honor of your visit? Do you know that lady? Kisei? Kisei. Yes, we were close, but that was a long, long time ago. Still, I can be of assistance to the woman to whom we owe so much. I will share all I know. Kisei was born to a family of priests, and even at an early age, she was possessed of extraordinary abilities. Much was expected of her, but everything changed the day she could speak with the dead. No one believed her at first, but she continued to assist she could, and strove to prove it by demonstrating knowledge well beyond her years. Knowledge of events to which she could not have been privy. She has the echo, doesn't she? Word of her talent eventually reached the Ruby princess. Princess, God, I was right the first time. And she was summoned to Shisui of the Violet Tides for a private audience. No one knows what Kisei said to her in the palace. Only that the princess was incandescent with rage and ordered her exile forthwith. Some believe Kisei revealed a terrible secret of the royal house, or perhaps spoke a blatant falsehood that proved her a liar. Indeed, the knowledge she claimed to divine from the dead was not always truthful. But who is to say that the dead would know the truth, or not to seek to deceive? Thus could we never be certain of what it was simply a fantasy or power divine. The one thing that is certain is that no small number of people found comfort in her words. With that, I could tell you more, but sadly, I have not spoken with Kisei since her banishment. Hey, this lady is just here with me. Don't mind her. Forgive me, but have we met your companion before? She looks familiar. I could just completely just disregard. Wow. I believe this is the first time a humble shinobi has visited the Suino Sato. Or imagine she does. I imagine she does, considering she's... Yeah. No, I will... Yugiri, I will respect your wish. I believe it's the first time our humble shinobi has visited Suino Sato. Ah, is that so? For the briefest of moments, you reminded me of someone quite dear to my heart. Being a shinobi, I presume you heard tales of Yugiri Mistwalker. Should you chance to meet her, may I ask you to deliver her a message? Tell her that her mother and father love her, that we could not be more proud of her. I will. I have no doubt she feels the same. And not a day goes by without you in her thoughts. I'm pretty sure she knows that that's her. I believe we have heard enough. Shall we return to Onokoro? That was sweet. You sure you didn't want to take off the mask? Or at least in front of them? Like in a secret room? My apologies for placing you in so peculiar a situation. Though I must confess I did my heart good to see my mother and father well. All the more reason I must do all I can to keep the peace, as a shinobi of Doma. No, as a member of the Eastern Alliance. And a cool volcano in the background. Mayhap there will come a day when Suino Sato opens to the world. A day when Yugiri Mistwalker can be reunited with her mother and father. But that Lord Hien could be afforded the same opportunity. Didn't we like save the Ruby Princess? You think we would be, since we're friends with her, you could be just like, hey, yo, can you let Yugiri come visit her parents now, please? But Lord Kaien and Lady Mina have long since passed. Two of too many lives lost in the Imperial occupation. I cannot imagine he would ever succumb to despair, but make no mistake, Lord Hien knows the pain of his people all too well. I can see it in his eyes, and if I may be honest, it troubles me at times. Just poke my face on the mic, my bad. But perhaps I have said too much. Come, we must keep him. Oh yeah, we keep him waiting, yeah. Ugh. Damn it! Every time I click too many times and it just teleports to the other area. Guys, I'm getting old. My back hurts. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. My job affords me to do some heavy lifting, and I must take care of my back more. I should do more back stretch exercises and all that. I was doing some in the morning, before the stream. For a blessing, Onokoro appears to be untouched by the recent chaos. For now, at least. Welcome back. I trust your journey proved an enlightening one. So she does in fact hail from Suino Sato. And you say she was possessed of these divine gifts since childhood. Genuine or no, the people believe her, and more flock to her side with every passing day. But the returnees are safe at the Kanken. Its defense is bolstered. As for the blasphemy, I spoke with our Confederate allies, among others, and together we will establish a network of contracts across the length and breadth of Doma to take up search in earnest. Mark my words, we will find it. Awesome. The devoted daughter. I have arrived not a moment too soon. The blasphemy has been sighted on the coast. For a mercy, there are no reported casualties as of yet. Just a woman I was hoping to see. No sooner had we cast wide our net than a Confederate messenger was at our door. If you would join us, Rasho awaits our arrival at Onokoro. Oh boy. Yo, it's Rasho. But blast me, Lord Hidd and Yaguri should be arriving soon enough. Nice to see you again, sir. Why is it you guys left first and I arrive first? Do you guys not use teleporters? Well now, that the noble of Doma should come in person once again. Mayhap these blasphemies truly are a threat. Indeed they are, and I was told that you and yours sighted our quarry quite recently. Aye, that we did. Near the islands of Shoal Rock, the beasts appear to be docile by all accounts, but appearances can be deceiving. If it is as you say, and this blasphemy has eyes for only for former conscripts, then we have not to fear. I trust that those we have accepted into our care are still in yours, at the Kankan, enjoying the finest Doman hospitality. Anyway, I know not why you came to the Ruby Sea, nor why it remains idle, but if we act quickly, there is a chance we can take it unawares. I propose we divide our forces. If you're willing to go ashore, we'll take a ship and circle about the islands. The first to find it will have the honor of the kill. Yeah, simple enough plan. Shall we off to Shoal Rock then? This isn't gonna work. Since this is only the level, I think, what, 88 quest? I'll stand up straight, so I'm moving my mic a bit. Hang on. Alright. Now I'm just sort of trying to, like, make my posture straight. Hopefully this is good. Because I think I have a feeling this, chair is not straight enough. Like, it makes me lean back all the time. And maybe that's not good, because that's not good for my posture. I don't know. Sorry for making you look at that horse butt. Camera zooms, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's good to just try to work on your posture. Make ready, Joanna. Should we find the beast first? We must be prepared to strike at once. This is where the blasphemy was last sighted. If the fates are kind, this will be all over soon. Too bad fate sometimes isn't kind. Hey, buddy. Hello. Come back. That's way too high for me. Damn. Such speed, I doubt even my falcons could keep pace with it. Ah! Don't tell me that's a blasphemy flying off in the distance. I hoped the ill will it bore me in life might compel the beast to stay and fight. Perhaps less of Minato remains than I thought. Minato? That monstrosity was Minato? You knew her? Her family tried to flee Higashi during the occupation, but their ship was raided and sunk. When we happened upon the wreckage, she was huddled between her parents on a piece of flotsam, desperate to keep warm, but they had long since grown cold. We took her to Onokoyo, where we nursed her back to health. Couldn't imagine what horrors she must have witnessed. The mere sight of our weapons was enough to make her start screaming. She was clearly unfit for our trade, so we sought a village that might take her in. Isari was that village. Several months later, I chanced to meet her on this very beach. She was in the company of a young Ori fisherman, and I knew once she had found more than a home there. I saw them here many times after that. She found something comforting about this place, I think. According to reports from Ratzat Han, the memories and desires of those who turn can influence their behavior as blasphemies. And perhaps Minato's memories are what compelled the beast to come here. I would also explain its timid nature. Minato was never one for violence, and the sight of your blade drawn no doubt stirred what little the woman remains in the monster. That's the case. Then an assault on Kikin is unlikely, guarded as it is by our samurai. But how are we to fight the enemy so quick to flee at the first sign of danger? Robbed of her parents, her husband, and now her life. I would rather we didn't have to at all. But I understand full well the risk we take with doing nothing. If we can catch sight of the blasphemy again, you will be the first to know. Perhaps next time we can put her soul to rest. Oh, yeah. Oh, that sucks. This girl's had a shit life. And once she had just a little bit of happiness, it's just gone. We scarcely had time to draw our weapons ere it fled. Perhaps we must reconsider our approach. Like I said, I shoot her with my bow. It could work. There is aught to do now but bide our time. Come, let us return to the Enclave. Mm-hmm. Well, that was a quick one. Little spermy. If that blasphemy fears to show itself, there is no telling how long it may take to track it down a second time. So what now? What do you want to do? Given what we have learned, it seems likely that the blasphemy will return to Shore Rock, but that knowledge will avail us not if we cannot prevent it from escaping again. Maybe we have to keep her there for... Oh no, this isn't good. Hello, cult leader. Look, again, she's very kind that she bows. Lord Hien, on behalf of the people of Isar, we are come with a request. We welcome you with open arms and open hearts. What is it you would ask of me? Those returned to us in the prisoner exchange have been granted shelter at Kainken. That they live is an affront to the Kami's grand design, and the spirits of our loved ones suffer for it. Balance must needs be restored, so I beseech you to render them unto the goddess Izanami. You want us to kill people? No. Absolutely not. 'Tis not our place to pray for the deaths of others, nor draw steel to sate mere bloodlust. When I take a life, be it by command of my own hand, I do so not in service to vengeance, but to uphold my duty to Doma and her people. How did your mercy for you serve your duty? How were your people made better by the sight of her walking free? For her crimes and her cruelty, I cut her down the day we took Doma Castle. I sought to kill her, and by right she should have died then and there. But the Kami willed otherwise, and returned her to us alive, and bereft of her memories. With no recollection of her deeds, it would have been Suyu who faced punishment, not Yotsuyu. This was my judgment for it. If you were denied the justice you deserved, you have every right to resent me. But you come before me and ask that I sacrifice men and women whose only crime was to suffer, to be condemned to a life of servitude? If you truly believe your cause to be sacrosanct, believe yourselves fit to bear the burden and swing the sword, then step forward. Alright, I mean, he came up with a pretty good answer. Sophistry and lies. They were meant to die. The spirits demand it. Are these the words of the dead, or the living who yet mourn? What? Oh shit! Buddy! It's you! You're back! That's not everyone's surprised! Like, what the fuck? Kusetsu! My lad! Rocking the dad look. Word of the Asari priestess and her gifts has spread far and wide, and I thought to see the truth to it myself. By coincidence, I crossed paths with a traveler hailing from the self-same village who had mind to turn as well, but alas, I could not. And so he bid me deliver a missive in his stead. Judging by the striking resemblance, I take it that you are the young fisher Akitsu. Here you go. This is a letter from my father, who was severely wounded in battle, but expects to make a full recovery? Oh. He's alive? But that would mean... yeah. That's a little awkward, isn't it? Surely a woman of your talents can divine a plausible explanation for this turn of events. Well, I'm gonna go. You shall pay for this, untomely. I don't even know what that word means, ma'am. My daughter will make certain of that. Yeah, you walk away with your big words. Let me just check my tombstone. Why are you still following her? What's wrong with you? No, seriously, why are you following her? That's actually kind of dumb. Oh, insolent and insulting language. Well, yeah. How insolent and insulting language you all the time. Hey, man, why are you doing Gosetsu? I'm glad to see you here. What's going on, my buddy? Apologies for the abrupt and otherwise unannounced arrival. As you can see, my lord here and I am returned. Full glad I am for it. Thanks to your timely arrival, we have given the lie to Kisei's claims of preternatural powers. I gather you were apprised of recent events. It did not take long to learn the state of affairs here in Doma, and that my assistance may be required. I heard tales of Kisei channeling the dead, including the father of one young fisherman. Imagine my surprise when I saw the spirit in the flesh. He was also on a pilgrimage, paying respects to the departed, and we chanced to meet in the Liberation Front infirmary. That we were not brought back together under such circumstances, but I'm glad to see you, Hel and Hardy. Yeah, man. What stuff are you doing? Did you bring any souvenirs? Where'd you go? It's the boy. I like how the boy's the only one who comes by here. It's like, everyone else just decided to go with the lady. Tonbo, is something the matter? I wish to apologize, Lord Hien. It was wrong of me to say the things I said. I understand nothing can bring back my father, but I was so angry. Please, Tonbo, you needn't apologize. It's just, my brother was always so brave, but father's stuff was more than he could bear, and it turned him into that monster. If he wasn't brave enough, what chance do I have? We wanted to perform the rites for father, but the body was never returned to us, so... Not that I blame you for that, Lord Hien. I understand nothing could be done. Oh. That Akitsu's father survived is nothing short of a miracle, but I fear he is indeed the rare exception. I have offered prayers at more graves than I can count. It would be cruel to give others the false hope that their loved ones might return. And yet Kisei continues to do just that, offering comfort with her lies, a tempting but ephemeral balm for wounds that have yet to heal, much like the anger some harbor for you, or resentment for the families restored while theirs remains broken. But for those like that poor boy whose hearts lack for hatred, who know only sadness and despair, that too may turn. Exposing the truth of Kisei's deception hasn't helped matters. If we are to prevent more suffering, we must pursue lasting solution. I would be most grateful for your counsel, Kosetsu. There is much I could learn from your pilgrimage. If there is aught you require, but say the word and it shall be done. It is the least I can do for the part I played in Yotsuyu's tragedy. I failed her in the end, but I will not fail you, my lord. Thank you again for your aid, Joanna. The day's events have given me much to consider. When our next step is decided, you will be the first to know. Hooray! That was crazy. Damn, I can't believe you came back for this quest line. That's nice. That's great. That's rad. Cod chowder. How many more of these? How many do I have of these? I have 2. I guess I ate one at some point. I also have a pizzas. Oh yeah, I believe I got some from one of my friends. They gave me some as they walked by. Can I use this? I can use this. Huh. Also, Grindelwald? Grindelwald? From those shitty Harry Potter movies? Oh, I only have 2. That's worth. Also have twin adorator tickets, a bunch of stuff I should put in my apartment. Look at all this shit that I have. It's time to clean out my inventory soon. Oh, also the glamour dress is gonna get more improvements soon. That'll be nice. I'll be able to put more raid gear in there. That'd be really nice. Regrettably, there have been no sightings of the blasphemy since our first encounter at Shoal Rock, and hence we surmised it seems to fear confrontation. We, for our part, have tried to make good use of this intervening calm. Even now, Lord Hien goes set to discuss how we might prevent other villagers from returning. If you would wait here a moment, he would no doubt wish to hear your thoughts on the matter. Uh-huh. I'm just gonna check on Twitter, by the way, if I actually tweeted out that I'm live. Bam, 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 bam. There, alright, sorry. Yeah, I did. Joanna, so glad you could come. As Yuguri no doubt explained, the blasphemy continues to elude us, and so we have returned to our attention to other matters we can and should address. After long discussions and much deliberation, we believe that we have found a means to allay the growing malaise of our people. If you would, Gosetsu. The idea came from us, considering young Tombo's remarks about his father, whose body was never found and returned to Doma. Others, no doubt, share in his melancholy, unable to bury and mourn their loved ones as their right, but it's simply they cannot make peace with their loss, their anguish, and if left to linger, may consume them as well. That we might provide the people of Doma with comfort and closure, we will hold a national funeral at the Swallow's Compass. Those who choose to attend will be asked to present personal facts of the deceased which they wish to be enshrined there. Spirits reside in all things, be they living or inanimate, and though we may die, a part of us lives on in the items we cherish most in life. Therefore, in lieu of remains, these belongings will be afforded a place in the royal mausoleum, that the spirits of those lost to us may find their way home to Doma, and their last no peace. The announcement has already been made, and a great many people are now engaged in the difficult task of deciding which keepsake will serve as their offering. It is not a decision to be made lightly, but I suspect they will have made up their minds by the time we go to collect the chosen tokens. I also hope to learn more about the departed from those willing to speak with me, for my benefit and for theirs. To break free of the sorrow, they must seek joy in the memories and the love they shared with the departed, and I will help them find it. Might the Liberator of Doma be willing to favor the people with her presence as well? I doubt not that they will appreciate the gesture. Uh-huh. Need my fancy hat. Good. Yugiri, I leave the people of Isari to you. Gosetsu, might I ask you to... Apologies, my lord, but there is a small but most urgent matter I must first attend to. Okay. Very well. I shall not pry. Now, Joanna, let us go and pay a visit to the good people in the Mai. Hang on. Let's take this car for a ride in the city. I am going to the wrong area. I was confused. I thought that the red icon for some freaking reason was where I had to go. Hey, Ian? Right then, before we begin, I would remind you that you need only listen to the tales of your loved ones. As overseer of the ceremony, I see it as my duty to deliver their effects personally. Because of this, it is the utmost importance that we keep clear of any beasts that might damage our cargo. It goes without saying how important it is that our offerings are delivered in pristine condition. That will be no good to you in a fight, while heavily encumbered. If stealth or flight are not options, I might ask you to fight for us both. But we needn't worry unless the occasion arises. For now, let us be off. Oh man, Ian's now accompanying me. Just do this. Okay, maybe another photo. I was hoping Gosetsu would also do this too, but whatever, it's fine. Maybe it's also too bright. The last area was a little dark. Hello, random person walking in the shot. That, and then just do this. What emote shall we put? I don't know, breath control? Pray, but that's, I'm on the floor doing that. Pay respects. There we go. Let's go pay these respects. This bereaved woman. This is a cutscene. My husband, my dear sweet Moroya, never returned from Garlemald. But perhaps now his soul might know peace. Please take this painting brush to the Swallow's Compass. Thank you. I shall handle thee with utmost care. Might we trouble you to tell us more about your husband? Moroya was a kind and gentle soul. There was nothing he loved more in the world than to create. The brush never left his side. Not even when he tended the fields. Any spare moment was dedicated to his craft, and he produced the most wonderful vistas of Yanxia. It was his dream to take us to Gugane, where he would become a famous artist, until he was conscripted. In the early days, he would send drawings of the places they took him, though I know not how. But more time began to pass between each arrival, and then they stopped coming altogether. I know not in what far-flung land he died, but I pray it was as beautiful as his works. He sounds like quite a man. To hold fast to his art even when forced to endure such hardship. His soul will find peace. Of that I have no doubt. So many people just not knowing what happened to their families. That's sad. Whoop. Hello, grieving elder. I must thank you again, Lord Hien. For this honor, my son would have been overjoyed to know that his katana would be enshrined at the Swallow's Compass. Nay, the honor is mine. I'm sure your son was a fine warrior. Aye, and so was I. Once upon a time a samurai, as it happens in service to your father when the Empire first invaded our lands. Though we were defeated, our spirits broken, my son, Motosu, was never one to lose hope. He was determined to follow in my footsteps, gave his everything to honing his skill with the blade. When I watched him train, I felt the pride I thought I'd forsaken swell in my breast, and I knew he would restore our family to its former glory. Alas, he could have fled, perhaps started a life anew as a vagabond of some sort. But he bore the burden and fought for Garlemald, for fear of what the Imperials might do if he did not. It's plain to see he was a loving son and a warrior true. I will care for his blade as it were mine own, and see it given the honor and respect due a samurai of Doma. Yeah, these are very sad stories, goodness. Hello? Tomo! He is here to revive. Fucking. Hit! I totally forgot that you have to follow me. Hang on. Come on, Ian. I ride. I guess you jauntily walk. Yep. You're almost there, buddy. Almost there. Almost there. Oh, there we go. Good job, man. I realize it's quite large, but I wanted to offer this on behalf of my brother and our father, Suzushiro. Wow. That's a big pot. What's in it? Guns? What? If you are willing, I would very much like to hear about them both. My father, he was a carpenter. He was a good man, if a bit stubborn. Always thinking about his work. The only time he ever seemed to enjoy himself was when he had a cup of sake in his hand. When my brother would come of age, he took up the trade as well. It brought them closer. I'd see them laughing over drinks together, or listening in silence to the crickets singing under the moonlight. I wanted to join them one day. This was their favorite sake. I thought they might miss it. I'm sure it will taste sweeter, having come from you. I realize no one can ever replace your brother or father, but if you will allow, I would be honored to share drinks with you in their stead. When you are of age, of course. Oh, damn it, I was hoping to drink now. I mean, yes. Yeah. There'll be no underage drinking. This should be everything. Would you join me for a short reprieve before I journey back? Good luck, Tombo! The heck is this? Perchance to Hanami. Why is this hang on. What does this unlock? Is this a Namazu quest? No, it's a Namazu unlock quest. Oh, it's a Namazu. I have not done a lot of those tribe quests. Little. Hang on, wait for the drop. Little spermy. Alright, that's enough. This is a very beautiful view here. Too bad it's cloudy today. They put on brave faces, but the people of Namai are still racked with grief. It is the same at every village I have visited in recent days. But it is only now that I am struck by the contradictory nature of my goals. Having joined the Eastern Alliance and taken steps to revitalize the Enclave, I believe Doma was at last on the path to peace and prosperity. I still do. Yet by focusing so keenly on the future, I have neglected the past, and that yet haunts my people. Even if they do not give in to despair, and become beasts that plague our lands, like poor Tombo's brother, how are we to truly move forward if we are to constantly looking back? You speak of their haunted past, Lord Hien, but what of yours? No, tell me about your past. Me? All things considered, I suppose it was only a matter of time before the subject was broached. Huh. She cuts to the heart of the matter, the young lord for the best, I should think, for he cannot lead by example if he has not yet made peace with his own past. I'm going to assume this is either Gosetsu or Yugiri. Let's Gosetsu. There we go, buddy. Hello. 1,000 apologies, my lord. I was passing through tending to the matters of which I spoke earlier, when I chanced to hear the familiar voices in the distance. If I may be so bold, the people of Doma one and all understand the source of your pain. To lose your father in the turmoil of a failed rebellion is staggering duty to the throne thrust upon you. Aye, how could you even begin to mourn when you first had to lead? It would behoove you to take part in the funeral rites, my lord. Take this time to make peace with your past, while it still is yours to spend. Though unlikely, if not impossible, were you to become a monster as well, Doma would surely be lost. I thank you for your counsel, Gosetsu. But if I may ask, why is it you keep your blade at the ready? I thought this personal matter of yours to be naught but a trifle. Or am I mistaken? Well, I find the katana a superior tool for peeling persimmons. Speaking of which, I do believe my stomach begs for assistance. If you will excuse me. Food! You want to get some food, dude? Training. To help slay the blasphemy, no doubt. Fitting that he should offer me counsel, yet refuse to heed it in kind. He is not the warrior he once was, but he is wise. Our obstinate friend. If I am to be perfectly honest, it frightens me to recall it, the moment it all came crashing down. We'd taken Doma Castle. Victory was ours, but then we looked out and saw the banners of the 12th Legion marching towards us, the Crown Prince at the fore. No sooner had Gosetsu and I escaped than we received word that Xenos had slain my father. I remember how the fight went out of Gosetsu in an instant, how he wept for his lord, while I felt the weight of the profound duty bear down upon my shoulders, crushing, suffocating, the heat of my own breath, the chill of my clammy palms. But duty demanded I master my emotions. When all those around me, Gosetsu included, were consumed by anger and thirst for vengeance, I had to be in control. Under my orders, we dispersed and fled, to fight another day. To this day, I have not stopped to reflect on my father's death. How could I, devoted as I am to finding Doma's way forward? But now I must, and so having taken you into my confidence, would you see this through with me to journey's end? Yeah, buddy, I've been here this long. The keepsake I would offer up for the funeral is hidden in a place not easily reached. We will have to fly there, I'm afraid, but worry not. My Yol will ferry us. Just a moment. Yeah, flight by Yol. Let's go. The place we seek is Plum Spring, in the mountains, shall we? Oh! Again, it's cloudy, damn it. Well, that's fine. It's an eerie mist. Very foreboding. That sets the mood. Needles per me. Bam, 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 bam. The glittering basin. I'm trying to do camera work right here. Needles per me. Here it is. This tree. I got it. I'll just take the tree off of its roots. My parents would bring me here for Hanami as a child. Its beauty and serenity was such that I could forget the realities of the occupation. Indeed, some of my fondest memories of family are here, which is precisely why I chose this place to conceal the singular gift my father bequeathed to me as a child. Monkey! Hey, I fought that boss! Charming, is it not? The great allspice Kuiten Dasheng, said to reside somewhere along the Daryu chain. In those days, anyone and everyone knew the tales of his prowess. Reckless boy that I was, I once even tried to seek him out, hoping he might help us. I buried here shortly after my coming of age ceremony. It seemed a fitting place to both part with my childhood and offer a final goodbye to my mother. More of a keepsake of mine than his, to be sure, but he was never a man of worldly possessions. Still, I suspect he would allow himself a rare smile if he were to see it again after all these years. It's adorable. And that is precisely how I wish to bid him farewell, with a smile. Is now a great time to tell you that I actually fought this dude? That'd be pretty funny. Huh. It should go without saying, I would prefer it not to become known that I kept this doll here. I wouldn't want the children to grow jealous now, would we? And with that, I believe it is time we return to the Enclave. With the jealousy, you kept a doll in a tree? Like, why didn't you give it to us? I guess that makes sense. Sure. Whoops. I'll go with you, Gary. The two of you were away for quite some time. Is everything alright? It's fine. We're giving here in some development. There are yet more villages to visit and offerings to collect, but the preparations are proceeding apace. Soon the people will have one less cause to be tempted down the path of despair. Of course, there still remains the problem of the blasphemy. The former conscripts will remain at the Kenken until it has been dealt with.
We will slay the beast in due time, but before that, I would be honored if you were to present the presents for the funeral rites. Pray speak with Yagiri when next you visit the Enclave, and she will tell you more of the proceedings. Alright, this is it. Giri's somber expression suggests you have arrived right on time. Of course I have. I arrive always on time. Aw. Hang on, just there we go. All right. Let's go. I disconnected from chat. Fucking A. As ever, your timing is impeccable. We but moments ago completed preparations for the funeral. I will inform Lord Hien of your arrival. You're here. Excellent. The blasphemy continues to shun our settlements, and I mean to make the most of the time its absence affords us. I assume you were planning to take part in the ceremony. What if it's there? Glad to hear it. Unfortunately, Gosetsu will not be joining us today. He has injured himself, as I knew he would with his secret training, and now grumbles from the confines of his bed. But he will be fine in due course. We may worry over his covalence after the funeral. Awesome! He's now injured. Great. Swallow's compass. Where the hell is that? I remember there's a dungeon here. I don't remember what it was. Imagine if I tried to do this last night. I think I would just lose my voice. It would just be impossible. Now it's just raining. Raining at a funeral? That's just appropriate. Da, da, da. All right, Ian. What are we doing today? Oh, here it is. It's time. There's a peculiar looking doll among the effects, but I can find no record of it in our stores. Would you happen to know who brought it? The villagers should arrive ere long. Then we may begin. Well, this funeral is gonna be bumping, I guess, huh? Did I bring any effects for my people? The people I've lost, like Hoshafont, Yisael? Lord Hien, Hello, are you good? I apologize, my lord, for my past transgressions. I yearned to believe my daughter was a kami reborn, but you were right. She is a monster. Words can ill express my shame for advocating the conscripts be sacrificed to appease the dead. Nay, this ceremony shall serve far, far better. And so, as a humble citizen of Doma, I offer my deepest gratitude and beg for your forgiveness. I would make an offering on behalf of my husband and son, as well as my dear stepdaughter Minato. I draw myself on your mercy, Lord Heian. Allow them a place within the mausoleum, that their spirits may know peace. It's okay. There is no need to beg for forgiveness, Kisei. Please rise. Oh, damn it! Oh. Damn, you just killed her. Shit. She will come for you. Wow. That was pretty brutal, Yugiri. Holy crap. I mean, I get it. Could have knocked her out. But Kami, she gave her life to draw out the blasphemy. I did wonder, like, she's had such a very sudden heel turn, without any explanation. I guess it's time to fight the thing. Let's end this family's misery. City and wait. I should use up my bloodlettings. I should have guessed that, huh? Yes, thank you. I struck pretty well. Mm-hmm.
For you, Father.
Pop this up, put that up, put this up. There we go. Alright, good. Just in case something bad happens. What the fuck? Oh. Shit. Oh yeah, I did it! I never get to do that. Oh, Apex Arrow's ready. I got my codas. 11 seconds, I should press the thing. Alright, right about now. Oh my. I'm concentrating, alright, you know, I'm making use of my stuff. Gosetsu, now would be a great time for you to come by. Help out. Oh. Right sweep. Oh yeah, I should do my reading finale. I'm that early. Uh oh. Yep, this is a good spot to be in.
The weave of a shinobi's power.
Oh, yep, stay here. Troubadour! No one can heal us! I mean, it'll be something, huh? Oh, I should probably heal myself.
We're gonna die! I'm not a healer! I'm just a silly little... Barcher. Barcher? Yes, a Barcher. That's what I am. I can't move! My dots! I didn't apply them that well. Maybe you guys should have asked me for my healing instead. Don't worry! A samurai is coming in to help us heal. Oh!
Apologies for the untimely arrival, my lord.
Oh, is he a white mage now? What the hell?
Gosetsu, what is that staff? Pilgrimage proved to be a most enlightening experience, and is where I chanced to discover the benefits of aesthetic training. I may no longer be fit to wield a blade, my lord, but Shugendo affords me another way to turn the tide of battle.
Oh, may need a job change. Ooh! We feel better, yay!
Stubborn as ever. I shall have to thank you later. Let's put an end to this.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah, that's Stormblood boss team. All right, let's begin again.
For you, Father.
Oh. I wanted to do the thing. It's fine. I didn't get to do it again. Oh, were there like two of them? Probably. That's why no, the characters didn't follow him. Nope. No! Guys, my bad. I don't have it. I think I may have accidentally activated it at some point. Whoa. Stand still. No, I got it. Okay, cool. Really nice. All right. All right.
The weave of a shinobi's power.
Resentful right sweep. Okay, I'm good. We're in the right spot. Oh, yes, of course you summon more of them. Whoop.
Just but a scratch.
Tis but a flesh wound. Nope, this time I got it. Oh, not. Oh, I don't know my right from my left. I thought that was totally left. Or Oh, whatever. Come on. It's time to go down now. Bam, bam, bam. Apex arrow. Yeah, Radiant Finale, just to end off this boss. Let's go. What? Did I get hit by that? I didn't. Just in case. I'm just gonna kill myself. Just there we go. We did it. Woo! Oh boy. Sorry, lady. Oh boy. She's still alive? A deceiver to the bitter end, but she's still a daughter of Doma. She will have a proper burial and her family's belongings enshrined with the others. Don't mind any blood marks or scratch marks on the floor. That was just a pre-scuffle funeral, as you will, as we all have. I've gathered you here today not to speak of the future, but to reflect on the past. To pay respects to loved ones fallen on the field of battle. In honor of their sacrifices, these sons and daughters of Doma shall be given a place here, at the Swallow's Compass. Though they no longer walk with us in life, they walk with us in spirit, for I never forget their bravery, that the memories of their legacy give you comfort and strength. Moroya Motokawa, the aspiring painter, he was a man who saw beauty in all things, and one day would have become a renowned artist in Kugane. Matoso Jito, the warrior in training, he longed to become a samurai like his father and bring honor to his family. Suzushiro Kadakumi, the carpenter, the man who wholly dedicated to his craft, who hoped to one day pass on his talents to his two loving children. And the list goes on. Oh man, they really gotta play Dynamis during this? Damn. And lastly, Minato Shiogaki and her stepmother Kise. Theirs was once a happiness to be envied. Minato's parents were murdered by Imperial soldiers, and after being rescued by the Confederacy, Minato was given into the care of the village of Isari. Though she arrived with a broken heart, it was soon mended by the man who would become her husband, the son of Kise, who herself had been home to Isari on winds of tragedy. Kise was a child of the deep, born in Suino Sato. For her gifts she was exiled, but with her courage and tenacity found a new home on the shores of the Ruby Sea. She was a devoted wife and mother, and though not related by blood, she loved Minato as if she were their own. That is how she lived, how they all lived, and how they should be remembered. Let your hearts not swell with sorrow, but with joy for their memory. Know that proof of their mark left on this world shall remain here, enshrined within the Swallow's Compass, for all eternity. Let us still our voices, and in silence pray for their souls, that they may share in the peace we have found. That was a nice funeral. Oh, you're a white mage now, huh?
Traditionally, the royal mausoleum is reserved for the ruling clans, but I have no doubt Lord Kyan would approve of his son's decision.
Many tears were shed throughout the ceremony. Not for grief, but for relief. I think. Happiness, even.
Well, I wasn't expecting a battle with a blasphemy as a prelude to the ceremony. At least now we may breathe easy, if only for a short while. The villagers have all returned home, and I believe it is time we did the same. The Enclave. Will Gosetsu stay? I don't think so, since technically in the main questline he is gone. Maybe he is going back on his pilgrimage. Chubby Chocobo. Is that the bard one?
Oh, it is. Same as me.
I'm not well versed in healing magics, but thankfully it was enough to be some use to Lord Ian. It is my outfit. But male! Oh, I was like wondering, it's like, oh, it's a male VR. And you do have a boob window.
Never in my wildest dreams did I foresee Gosetsu embracing the aesthetic arts.
Yeah, it's nice. We've held a national funeral and slain a blasphemy besides. A rather productive day, would you not agree? The former conscripts will be elated to finally return home. Speaking of returns, I think I speak for all of us all, when I say your appearance at Swallow's Compass came as something of a shock. What of your injuries from training? Quite painful for some time, I assure you. Despite my best efforts to reclaim my former skills, my back and my hips vigorously protested. You did hold a giant fucking castle, so yeah, I would assume. I planned to sleep I might be well rested for the morrow's hunt, but a voice called out to me. I was needed, so I grabbed my cane and ran as quickly as my ailing body would allow.
The cane suits you, Gosetsu, but your mastery of healing magics was a sight to behold. Almost as surprising as your resurrection following the fall of Doma Castle.
It was pretty awesome. I am still but a novice in dire need of training. It is my hope that I will be able to refine my aesthetic arts during my next pilgrimage. So you are leaving then? Of course he's leaving. The main quest still has him left. Worry not, Lord Ian. Should you find yourself in dire straits once more, I shall fly to your side. Not as a samurai perhaps, but I will nonetheless give our enemies cause to tremble. Yay! And with that, I take my leave. See you later, buddy. It's good to see him. I totally forgot that, yes, a giant castle falling on a man would probably injure him, that he cannot do physical arts. Though it may be years, if not decades, until we truly make peace with our past, we have turned the corner and begun to heal. We will look to the future, unburdened with grief, ignored and sadness denied. The path ahead is ever fraught with peril, but we shall walk it with eyes unclouded and with pride. You have done so much for us, for Doma. I sure wish there was more I could do for you. It's fine, this was a fun adventure. If I may ask one last favor before you leave, please inform our representative at Ratzat Han that blasphemy has been vanquished, and the people of Doma are safe. With any luck, our experiences will prove useful to other nations that yet grapple with these beasts. Aye aye! And we're off! Might as well talk to them before we go.
The people of Sui no Sato will be relieved to hear recent events. I wonder what mother and father would say.
Safe travels, Joanna, and may the Kami bless you.
That ends all of them pretty much. Oh boy. Ow. Well, that's a cute outfit. Nice. That a little bit fit. I forgot I could just try. What the fuck is that? That's a scythe? What type of scythe is that? Oh, it's a warrior's axe. It's Byaku's Inspirited Great Axe. Cool. Will there be another quest after this? I think they'll update it. They said people have said that they update the quest line in patches, so I feel like there'll maybe be one that connects these quest lines later. Maybe. Who knows? Lady Joanna, you have returned. What of Doma? Ugh, the blasphemy is no more. That is most wonderful news. I must inform the other delegates at once. Thank you again for answering our summons. If another threat should rear its dastardly head, I pray we can count on your assistance again. Da, 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 da. You can now dye the job-specific gear for the physical range DPS. More than loneliness. What are the achievements? Down there. Which is not. Last 5. It is complete the quest laid to rest. Oh, we have all of these. More than fear. Ever march heaven. Where's the last? Oh, damn. We don't know what the last one was. It could be under quest lines. Show only completed ones, I hope. It's hard to find them. I saw more. I don't think it's going to be very impossible to find. Yeah, it'd be very difficult to find. It's more than fear, more than guilt, more than loss, and more than loneliness. But that's all of them. Do you have anything to say? I heard about you and your travels beyond the stars over the final days. Good work, Dad. Mind you, not all our woes have vanished. Just yet. Speak to the blasphemies, of course. Though we've come a long way, the battle's not yet done. Uh-huh. That must mean that there will be another quest line. Maybe there'll be another blasphemy at the end of it. One final one that unites all of the Alliance leaders. Because if she says that, then there's probably more blasphemies. Then okay, then. But that's it for that, huh? Yeah. Overall, the tank one. Yeah, probably the worst one. It is, not... It's not as interesting. And Kodani has a lot of history of, racism. I was hoping it would, you know, talk about that, but it does not. And it mostly talks about the spirit trees and all that are shitty. Just kind of shitty elementals, just being kind of assholes, and we're like, yeah, sure, we'll forgive them, fuck it. I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of just crazy. So yeah, no, it's not really, yeah, not a fan of it. There's then the, after that I did the magical, trying to rate them in terms of how I like them. I'd say the magical DPS is 4th place. It is pretty good. So like, yeah, sadly tank is pretty low. And if you were to like, it was like imagine them from bottom to top. Tank is pretty low, far separate from the other 4. It isn't terrible, it's just not as good. And then magical DPS is pretty alright. It's got a lot about the church. Trying to, you know, talk about how faith is pretty important, but you know, I feel like the church has done a lot of bad crimes. They should probably be punished. Not sure the lessons there, but I mean, I liked it enough. It was pretty cool. It gives some interesting implications on how you can make a primal that is like a clone, or a weird like amalgamation. Not even that strong of a primal, just sort of a person. It's odd. Very odd. Never thought that's something you could do, but I guess you can do that. Then I believe it's... I feel like it's a tie between ranged and melee. Both of them are close. I'd say Merlib's storyline and her development is really good to see. I like it a lot, and I like in the ranged category. I like seeing Yugiri and Gosetsu's stories. Hien is also, it's good to see his backstory and him dealing with all that stuff. I've heard that Hien is a bit of a contentious character who has made some mistakes in the past, and then some, I don't know, I think he's like forgiven like a person who was like a slaver and then they just let him go. And I don't remember this, so you know, this game has so many storylines, I don't remember everything. I'm sorry if I don't even remember this scene, so I can't even say for sure. If it is true, then that does kind of suck that they don't really bring that up, because, you know, slavers is, and people who just are shitty like that are the reason why Yotsuyu was created and became a huge villain. But, and the fact they don't bring that up. But they did bring up that he forgives Yotsuyu, and then and how the Pete villagers were like, that kind of sucks, why would you do that? And, you know, he gives a good reason. I don't know. I did like the storyline altogether and the characters. It was nice to see Gosetsu again in that storyline, and it was weird to see the company of heroes again. It's kind of funny, but actually no, I would say it's third place because it's just a little odd. It's just in general just a weird thing. It's a little goofy, but overall it's probably third place in terms of the rankings of all these role quests, and I'd say it's still a really good one though. And yeah, I liked it just a lot more because I get to see Gosetsu and Yugiri a lot and get to see her development, and I'm glad to see her visit her parents. That was all good, and the funeral was nice. But yeah, no, the number one is definitely the healer role quest. It giving Vordola her development and having her go through all of that, and just getting to see Raban and R involved and all of the stuff with Alamigo. It's really nice. It overall was a good experience to see all those characters just deal with all of the crazy, the Alamigan hatred and the reason with all the conscripts, and you know why they did what they did. It, you know, not forgiving them, but just understanding that they did that and just coming to terms with it is nice. It is it's a very beautiful ending for that character arc, and I think it was good. I think it was, out of all of them, I'd say the healer role quest was my favorite. Still though, I sadly have to say that overall, so you know, this isn't over. There's probably, like I said, there will maybe be one that connects all of these role quests, but if I have to be honest, yeah, no, I do think that the Shadowbringers role quests were better. Just in terms of quality. Like the healer one in the Shadowbringers one made me almost cry. It was immense. Oh, the healer one in this one also made me cry too, a little bit. So a lot of them though in Shadowbringers one were really good. They were really emotional and pretty much none were ever that weak. None were ever as weak as the tank one in this one, or a lot of them are better than even the ones in fourth and third place in this group. Overall, I do think the Shadowbringers ones were better, but this is still a good selection of side stories, and I you know, y'all do them yourselves. Definitely worth doing, especially because you can dye your gear. But yeah, no. Overall, that's that done. We've completed all the role quests so far. And if there are more added after completing all of them, then I will definitely do them. But for now, that is it for that. I wanted to do something before my sub ran out. I kind of want to see where everybody is. I don't, because by the time my sub comes back on, 6.1 is about to will probably come out, and I won't have time to do this. So might as well go see them. All the Scions, where did they go? And I want to, because they're out in the world now. So I'm just going to Google it. Scions after Endwalker. I want to see their dialogue and what they said. It is in spoiler. Okay, can I look at it? There we go. Click to see spoiler. There we go. Uh-huh. Here are the locations and dialogue. So, let's go to the twins first. They are in Garlemald, and I will go there then. And this is how I've seen a Reddit post, and this is where they are in order. I think they're near the Tetrium. Oh yeah, they're at the Tetrium. Exactly, actually, at the Tetrium. So yeah, we go there. They should be around here somewhere. There they are! They're literally right there with Julius! Alright, let's see these dialogue choices and all that. I didn't expect to see the twins in Garlemald again. Like you, they risked life and limb to save the world, and some would say they've earned a lifetime of peace and quiet. Yet here they are. When they said that they wished to help us, they truly meant it. And even outsiders haven't given up on us. Then how could we possibly give up on ourselves? The road to recovery will be long and hard, but we'll spare no effort. We'll rebuild Garlemald into a nation that all can be proud of. For those who are still here, and as well as those who couldn't be. Joanna, you came. Words cannot express how glad I am to see you. We've just begun our work here with the contingent and local volunteers. Our foremost priority is establishing the number of survivors and distributing vital supplies. As we continue our efforts, we will ensure that everything is done in consultation with the Garlemald people. This is their nation, after all, and theirs must be the hands that steer its course. Yeah. Hey, Joanna, guess what? The other day, I tended to a beast terrorizing the station area, and afterwards a family came and thanked me. And on another occasion, the soldiers in the First Legion taught me about the medicine they used. It's unlike anything I've seen in Eorzea. Oh yeah? Oh wow, modern day medicine. It's not all uplifting tales, of course, but every day I'm afforded a new opportunity to grow. If only it weren't so cold all the time. Aw, that's nice. So they're hanging out here, doing their things. Alright. So now we'll see. There's Alpha now. So Y'shtola is in Matoya's cave, I assume. Yes, she is. Alright. What is closest to Matoya's cave? Edelshire, I assume? Yeah, there's no one who teleports near Alexander. And goddamn. Oh, fucking. So we have to go all the way over there, don't we? Damn, that's a fucking far away. Y'shtola. Could someone put an 8 right out there, please? Alright, it's fine. We could use the transport. I forgot you can't fly here. We could use a little walk around. All the way here. That's not that far as I remember. It's still pretty far. But I'm proud of the twins. They're doing their best. Just hanging out in Garlemald in the fucking freezing cold. It was, speaking of cold, it was fucking freezing last night. It was mostly the wind. Like, the wind made it just really cold. Like New York type cold. Not like... We're not living in like super cold places like Antarctica. We're not in the negatives, but man, it was still like insane. It's also, I have a draft in a little bit in this room, and so it was pretty cold for this room's particular. Like I should have fixed that draft a while back, but you know how it goes. There we go. I couldn't move while I was gone. Y'shtola! Where is she? Frogs, can you point me to the lady? First, let's talk to Matoya. How's it having her back, huh? Like old Louis Soir, you lot set out to save the world. Like him, you believed in your cause with all your heart, and like him, you succeeded. The spineless wretches of the Forum could stand to take a cue from your example. Now, as Stola would tell you, I tend to be sparing with my praise. But for what you've accomplished, you have my respect and admiration. Wow! Thank you, ma'am. Well now, have you come to check on Master Matoya? How very thoughtful of you. I almost come to check on you, but yes. She appreciates your visits, even though she would never admit it. Despite her years, she remains as indefatigable as ever. To hear her tell it, she means to cite abandonment and claim that Antitower as private property. For my part, I'm glad to see you too. I'm only here until I find the tome I'm after in the library, so your timing couldn't be better. So she's just here looking for a tome. So yeah, I'm worried that they're gonna not be here anymore, so that's why I'm going to these areas. So next is Estinian in Ratzat Hunt, which we were just at. I could have just done Estinian first. Whatever, would have saved me some gil, but whatever, fuck it. So this one is in particular, let's see. Let's look at this map carefully. It is like around Mefraz Mahani? Something, yes. Mirides Mahani. Working as a... Alright, we'll see him again since we saw images of him in 6.1. Somewhere around here. I like dancing here, by the way. It's probably nice. There he is. Hey, buddy. Yeah, we'll see him again in 6.1. You're here too. I thought I would have moved. You would have moved. I would have moved on by now. But Vitra hasn't deigned to reveal the details of his quest yet, so here I still am. But I can't complain. I have my own chambers, and I'm being well looked after. Too well, even. I can't help but suspect that they're softening me up for an especially bothersome task. Still, the food is excellent. Nice. What food do you got? Looks like orange, some meats, and onions, potato wedges. I'm not sure, and some dip. Cool. That's some good food. Okay, we got a couple of things. Uriandre and Tancred are... Before they head off, they said they wanted to go to Charlian, so it seems they're at... Oh! Okay. They're in... Labyrinthus. Aporia, I believe? The place you can't fly in. This way. So Estinians enjoying some Thavnarian food. So yeah, in 6.1 apparently there's gonna be a small time skip. I didn't even know that. I didn't watch the live letter, but I only caught like some glimpses of it. Are they here? There they are. With Living Way. Living Way, how goes it? If it isn't Joanna, how have you been feeling? No dizziness or nausea or some ailment or other after the journey? In particular, if you're having hallucinations, it may mean that an alien life form has taken over your brain. And evasive surgery will be required to remove it. That was a jest. Did you like it? We just as useful for building rapport with you people. Anyway, you may have heard that I'll be staying on Etheris for a while. We're exploring all sorts of ways to make use of the moon, which means we're going to need to establish regular flights there and back. Cool. Oranje, how's it going, buddy?
Well, well, I know not what errand bringeth thee hither, but thine is ever a welcome presence. There being no inherent urgency to begin our wanderings, Tancred and I did decide to first see how fareth the discussions between the Forum and the Loporrits, and should it be necessary, lend our aid. In exploring the uses of the moon and ventures beyond the stars, soon or late, other parties will inevitably seek to be involved. We must needs ensure that the tendrils of dark designs are not permitted to wend their way into this endeavor.
Yeah, like the Syndicate being like, how do we capitalize on the moon? What can we buy there?
Ah, fancy meeting you here. Come to look in on the starship, have you? I must say, it already feels like an age ago that we enhanced our vessel's ether burner and rode forth into the great unknown. Sometimes I find myself gazing up at the starry sky, wondering if it was all just a dream. Once behind you, even the grandest adventures become but a memory.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Alright, and the last one, that one's easy. I know where they are. Whoop! To the annex. Oh, we already talked to Tadaru. She's hanging out over at the Rising Stones. They should be in here, right? There you guys are. Cryle, how goes things? Oh, Joanna, how good of you to visit. As you can see, there is little change with us. Just pushing steadily along with our work. A typical day involves tending to our commissions, sorting research materials, and liaising with collaborators. It doesn't sound like much, but it keeps the few of us here busy. And few as we are, we've been able to keep your chamber as it is. If you ever need a place to rest your weary head, you're welcome to use it. Ojika, for one, would be pleased. Awesome. Gracha, how are you doing? Joanna, I didn't know you were here in Charlian. You'll be staying a while, I hope. Lest you wonder, we've yet to receive a commission of note, and it hasn't been terribly exciting. The past few days have been mind-numbingly dull. In fact, Graal has me sorting endless stacks of tomes. I'm still working through them at the moment, but perhaps later we can go and have a meal together? I should like to hear about your recent adventures, and of course, I'd be more than amenable on embarking on one together. He just wants to go on an adventure. He wants to go out. Have fun. Well, sometimes our adventures aren't that fun, but you know, I mean, hey. Yeah, I assume we will do that in 7.0, because they did talk about how Graha and Kyle will get more development and more time and later. Specifically Kyle, which makes sense. Kyle didn't do a lot in Endwalker. As always, we had some of Kyle, but not enough. So that makes sense to make her important in the storyline here forward. I think that's it